So we're down to the last video of this series, and we've gone over everything basically from setting up your studio designer, from opening the account, setting company-wide defaults, chart of accounts, sales codes, setting up generic and project vendors, pulling up your first financial statements, posting payments to funding the business account, posting your first expenses, setting up your first client, setting up items on your project, and requesting the quote. So what happens now? Well, typically your vendors come back with a quote. I wanted to update the ones that we received. Okay, we requested it. We sent the RFQ from Studio, and I did update the ones for Fabric because those were split. But I want to go ahead and update and show you what happens when we get the RFQ. Well, we're going to come in here to edit it because we now have pricing for this. Okay, oops. And yeah, there's a lot of changes, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and price this out, and in through here, this is the amount that the quote reads for, and I will show you that I've received that here. Okay, this is a quote, so I'm just kind of updating the information. Okay, and you can see that it defaults because I set up this vendor. The vendor asked for 50% to start fabrication. Okay, and what you're seeing over here, because we hit the always copy, it is going to copy over the unit price to the selling price automatically. Okay, I like to do that all the time because that forces us to build a client. Okay, I've seen where people miss that. If you put never, or if you put not to copy it, basically it just doesn't float over to charge the client. Okay, now what these numbers here are, right here, they dictate the amount that you're requesting on proposal. Okay, and in my company-wide setup, I selected 100%. Okay, I know some of you don't ask for the full thing. I do. Okay, so you can change that default to whatever it is that your standard is, because, well, right now this is labor, so it usually isn't taxable. Okay, in the cases where we're setting it up. Okay, so I am going to change this because for whatever reason it didn't default, and maybe it was because I was playing and cloning and doing different things. So because we set the standard markup to go for 95%, at least on this vendor. Okay, I know that wasn't my company-wide setting. That was for this vendor, that we would mark it up 95%. So this is the total that we're charging the client. If I didn't like that number, I know some of you guys don't like charging weird numbers like that. So if you wanted to make that an even 6, you could do, you can take off the markup, okay, completely, and say, okay, I will do, make that 25. Okay, so instead it's a nice round number. Okay, so if you wanted to mark it up and overwrite it, you can. But this is how you would do that. So now it is basically, this is the amount that the vendor is charging us. They're asking for this deposit to start production. We're charging clients this much. I'm asking for 100%, so that's what it is. It's asking for the full amount. And sales tax, I mean, it's not going to sales tax this because it's fabricated. Okay. And in the case that we were going to call this piece of it the bed, then it would be taxable. Okay. But I'm not doing that. I am breaking it out and not making it taxable. If you want to debate that with me, you can book a call on our website. Other than that, you can see that here the fabric that I set up offline is there. I am going to attach the quotes to these while we're on the video, and I'll go ahead and update these. But now you can see that this is basically how we would update the item once we get the quote. Okay, I do want to update on the codes over here. See, the request for quote was dated. We actually received it, I'll do on the 10th. Okay, and I mean, I'm not going to fill in the lead time because I guess we're not sure yet if it's a go. Okay, but this is kind of where you would update the different things for procurement and expediting. Okay, so these, I'm going to save and close. And now you can see that this is, actually I want to go ahead and attach a document. So I'm going to attach the quote that I received, just so you can see that. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess it is okay to show my training file. Whoops. Let's see. This would be the bed quote. You'll see it populate anyways when it uploads. So, okay. So now that bed quote is attached. And you can see I can say, you know, what you can relabel it whatever you want. Quote 1739. Oops. Oh, is it not letting me do it? 1739. 3235. Okay. So now that quote is there. I don't obviously want it to be visible to the client, but I'm okay with it being visible to the vendor so they know what they've quoted us. Okay. And that's how I would attach it. And that's kind of how I would attach anything that we wanted to keep for reference here. Okay. Images, files, and that sort of thing. Okay. And that also verifies the totals that I've put in. You know, you are always tying out to the vendor quote. If you don't have the vendor quote, you probably shouldn't be quoting your client. Okay. So never quote without confirming. Prices change even if you've ordered it before. Double check, triple check. Okay, and now that I feel comfortable with this, I'm going to go ahead and create a proposal for my client. Okay, and we're going to go, oops, bedroom 2, bed. Okay, so I basically name all of these files. It's so important to name them. It's easier to find when you're wanting to locate things, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is ready to send. You can see that, oops, let me pull it up. Okay, this is the proposal, and it is ready to send to our client. And you can select different layouts if this isn't the one that you like. Go ahead and view them. You can see that you can change the different formats. Okay, that's kind of how you're going to do it. I like the regular format. If we had multiple items, they could be listed here, especially in an event where we had different components. Okay, and I probably will go ahead and add those other components to this, and I can add them even after I've created it. Okay. If you didn't like the word proposal, you can change it to something else. If you were showing the markup, which we're not, okay, I know sometimes people like to show it, okay, so you can call it design fee, you can call it whatever you want. If you don't want to just change it for this one instance, you would change it in company-wide defaults. Okay, but this proposal is pretty much ready to go. However, I do want to add a couple more items to it because this isn't just for the full bed, and then that way I can show you what the first component would look like. Okay, but I will go ahead and do that now. Okay, and this is the fabric that I wanted to use. So I'm not going to propose the bed bench yet and its fabric, but I know that this ties out. So, you know, the same thing, I'm going to attach. I'm going to go ahead and attach the quote to this, and it would be the bed fabric quote. Okay, I don't know why it's doing it like that. Let me do it the other way. Oh, it did attach it, so maybe it's going to be in there twice. So now you're kind of building everything. So here's the bed fabric quote. You can label it however you want to label it, or not, okay? And this, we can make it visible to the vendor, not the client. Okay, and that's what it looks like. And you can see here that it is adding sales tax to this, okay? And in a case where you can break this up, you don't have to charge sales tax for that. So if I wanted to go ahead and add, if I wanted to put this on its own proposal, I could, or I can add it to this one, okay? I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put it on the same proposal, okay? And I'm going to save and close, okay? Just for the record, you could set up 1,000 items in a day, and that does nothing. It's a non-posting transaction. It does not do anything to your financials. I can create 1,000 proposals in a day, and that does nothing to my financials, okay? I prefer to send things out from the system so it builds an audit trail, and, you know, it's documented what you've sent them. I like that you can go in real time. So this is our proposal. Okay, and I'm going to PDF it, but I wanted to show you that I now can show both items. You can see that it's the total. Or I can do first component only. And it's still going to give the total with the fabric, but you can see it's not showing. Now, if I wanted to show the fabric, I could. I would just have to attach it. But I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as is. This proposal is ready to go. Again, you can change different formats, but then this is what you would do. I usually will save it so we have a version of what we sent them. If you're sending it in this fashion, the other way is to do the client portal, but I have a different video for that. Okay, so if there's any questions about what I've said or done or set up thus far, let me know. Leave it in the comments of each video, or you can reach out to info@mareevuitton.com. And stay tuned for the upcoming series for project management and expediting, accounting troubleshoot, and I am redoing the entire how-to series because of the Studio Designer update, okay, in 2025. So stay tuned for all that, and leave your feedback in the comments. Thank you.